Merry Adventures of Robin Hood. Chapter 9. Robin Hood Aids a Sorrowful Knight. The time of fall had come. The harvest was gathered home. Merry bands of folks gathering leftovers from the reapers roamed singing about the country roads. Good things of the year were gathered in great store. Robin Hood snuffed at the air. Here is a fair day, Little John. Choose men and go east. I will turn to the west. Each of us must bring back a goodly guest to dine this day. They each chose from the band as they wished and went forth by different paths. 20 stout fellows stayed in the forest with Friar Tuck. All of the rest were gone either with Robin Hood or Little John. Robin's group journeyed through highways and villages until it came beyond Alverton in Derbyshire. Robin called to his men to stop. We will rest here and see what may fall into our luck pot. They sat down beside a hedgerow where the grass was soft. Each man drew from his pouch what he had brought to eat. The young men lay behind the hedge. Time slipped along and no one came. At last, a man came slowly riding over the hill and down the stony road. He was a good stout knight, but sorrowful of face. His clothes were plain and rich, but he wore no gold chain or jewels. Said Robin Hood, "Yon is the sorry looking gallant." When the knight came closer, Jolly Robin stepped forward and laid his hand upon the horse's bridle. "Hold, Sir Knight," he said. "Who stops a traveler in this manner upon his most gracious majesty's highway?" said the knight. "My name is Robin Hood. I hear much good of you and little ill. What is your will of me?" asked the knight. "If you will go with me this day to Sherwood Forest, I will give you a merry feast." "You are indeed kind," said the knight, "but methinks you will find me but a sorrowful guest. You had best let me pass on my way in peace. I have no money by me." Robin looked keenly at the knight. "Is it so? You will think no ill if I look for myself." He put his fingers to his lips and blew a shrill whistle. 80 young men ran to where the knight and Robin stood. "Sir Knight, I pray you tell me what money you have." A slow red rose to the king's cheeks. He looked Robin in the face and said, "I tell you the truth. In my purse are 10 shillings, and that is everything Sir Richard of the Lee has in all the wide world." He held his purse out to Robin. "Put up your purse, Sir Richard," said Robin. "The proud I strive to bring low. Those who walk in sorrow I aid if I can. It's not likely that you can cure my troubles, but I will go with you." They all traveled their way to the woodlands. After they had journeyed for a time, Robin said, "Sir Knight, do you find it in your heart to tell me your sorrows? My castle and my lands are pledged to a debt I owe. For the sake of my son, I was shorn like a sheep. 3 days from now, the money must be paid, or my estate is lost forever. It falls into the hands of the Priory of Emmet. What they swallow, they never give forth again." "What is owning to Emmet for your estates?" asked Robin. "Only 400 pounds," said Sir Richard. "The bloodsuckers," Robin cried. "Many have found Robin Hood a friend in their troubles. I may help you yet." When they came near the greenwood tree, they saw Little John had come back with a guest. Whom should they find but the Bishop of Hereford? Up and down he walked beneath the tree like a fox caught in a hen coop. Behind him, 3 friars stood in a frightened group. 6 horses were tied to the branches of the tree. 5 of them were weighted with packs of different sizes and shapes. The bishop spoke in a loud and angry voice. Is this the way you and your band treat one so high in the church as am I? There is not a man here who would harm a hair on your worship's head, said Robin. Come, my merry men, and get the feast ready. In the meantime, we will show our guests to our woodland sports. Some went to light the fires for roasting meats. Others went leaping to get their cudgels or their longbows. Then Robin brought forward Sir Richard. My Lord Bishop, here is another guest we have with us today, Robin announced. Sir Richard, methinks you and I are fellow sufferers in this den of. The bishop was about to say thieves, but stopped and looked at Robin. Speak out, Bishop, Robin said, laughing. Den of thieves, you were about to say? Then Robin asked his guests to be seated. A target was set up at the far end of the glade. The bowmen shot at it. Such shooting was done that day. All the while, Robin talked so quaintly to the bishop and the knight that they both laughed aloud again and again. A long time the feast lasted, but at last it was all over. Robin Hood called for silence. I have a story to tell you, so listen to what I have to say, he said. He told them all about Sir Richard and how his lands were in danger. As he went out, as he went on, the bishop's face grew serious again, for he knew the story of Sir Richard. Now, my lord bishop, do you not think this is ill done, especially from a churchman who should live in humbleness and charity? Asked Robin. You are the richest bishop in England. Can you not help this needy brother? The bishop said not a word. Then Robin Hood turned to Little John. You and Will Stoutly go and bring those 5 pack horses. The 2 men did as he asked. Who has the account of the goods? The smallest of the friars handed Robin the tablet with the contents of all the various packages. Robin handed the tablet to Will Scarlet and bid him to read it. Will lifted his voice so that all may hear. 3 bales of silk to Quinton, cloth merchant and Ancaster. We will not touch that, for Quinton is an honest fellow, said Robin Hood. So the bales of silk were laid aside unopened. 1 bale of silk velvet for the Abbey of Beaumont. What do these priests want of silk velvet? Thought they, need it not. I will not take all from them, said Robin Hood. Measure it into 3 lots, 1 to be sold for charity, 1 for us, and 1 for the abbey. In this way, the list was gone through. Some things were laid aside untouched. Some were unopened and divided into 3 parts for charity, for themselves, and for the owners. All the ground was covered with silks and velvets and cloths of gold and rich wines. They came to the last line of the tablet, a box belonging to the Lord Bishop of Hereford. My Lord Bishop, have you the key to this box? Asked Robin Hood. The bishop shook his head. Will Scarlet, cut open this box if you can, said Robin. Will Scarlet took up a 2-handed sword. 3 times he struck that strong box with its iron bands. It burst open, and a heap of gold came rolling forth. Will Scarlet, Alan Adale, and Little John counted it over. It took a long time to count all the money, said Will Scarlet called out that there were 1,500 golden pounds. Among the gold they found a paper, and Will Scarlet read it out for all to hear. All heard the money was the rental and fine's and forfeits from certain estates belonging to the Bishop of Hereford. My Lord Bishop, you shall take back 1/3 of your money. I hear you are a hard master to those beneath you, said Robin. The bishop was thankful to keep some of his wealth. Then Robin turned to Sir Richard. Now, Sir Richard, you shall take that 500 pounds laid aside for people more in need than the bishop is. Pay your debt to Emmet. Sir Richard looked at Robin. I thank you, friend, from all my heart. Think it not ill of me if I cannot take your gifts freely. I will take the money and pay my debt. In a year and a day, I will return it safe to you. 500 pounds was counted out and tied up in a leather bag for Sir Richard. The rest of the treasure was divided. Part was taken into the treasure house of the band, and part put with the other things for the bishop. Then Sir Richard rose. I cannot stay, good friends. My lady will grow anxious if I come not home. Will Scarlet spoke up. Let us give him a golden chain to hang about his neck and golden spurs for his heels. Then Will then said Will Stuteley, let us give him a bale of rich velvet and one of gold cloth to take home to his lady as a present from Robin Hood and his merry men. All clapped their hands, and Robin said, you have spoken well, and it shall be done. Sir Richard spoke in a husky voice. You shall all see, good friends, that Sir Richard will ever remember your kindness this day. He could say nothing further, but turned quickly away. Little John and 19 fellows he had chosen came forth to journey with Sir Richard. All the forest glades rang with the shout that went up as the knight and the men marched off through the woodland. The Bishop of Hereford said in a mournful voice, I too must jogging, for the night grows late. Robin laid his hands upon the bishop's arm. Be not so hasty, Lord Bishop. 3 days from now, Sir Richard must pay his debts to Emmet. Until then, you must be content to abide with me, so you do not breed trouble for the night. So the bishop and his friars abided with Robin for 3 days. His lordship had much sport in that time. At the end of 3 days, Robin set him free. He sent him from the forest with a guard of men to keep thieves from taking what was left of the packs and bundles. But as the bishop rode away, he vowed that he would make Robin regret the day he stopped him in Sherwood.